Hey everybody, welcome to another Thursday Night Live. We missed last week. We're here this week with you though. I'm your ever-present associate and podcast host Francis. If you are one of the newer people that have been joining in and you're just now catching this, so I have a podcast. It's called What a Hell of a Way to Die. I try to do these every Thursday evenings, kind of after the kid goes to sleep. Do a Thursday Night Live, just kind of a weekly update of what's going on. So if you haven't seen yet, for those of you who are going to be getting the zines, we have two brand new patches. These are based off of the NOTL 39 satellite division. Basically, like every goofy CIA group has somebody design a patch. So theirs was like an octopus that is like over the Earth. So this one is a Cthulhu over the Earth, because this is probably a little bit more closer to what a CIA satellite group is. So these are going to be going out. Also have our OK Boomer stickers. Our Vaporwave ones that I put out there. These are going to probably be turned into a magnet and put into the store, and then we're also going to have our Are You Doing Your Part stickers. Those are all going to be going out to the zine. These are all also going to be available eventually in the store, probably sometime in December. Maybe end up pushing it to January just because of the holidays. Not too sure yet. But so that's, a lot of the stuff that's coming. I'm really enjoying doing the patches. Yeah, my Mocha and water ones are all the way over there, but I've already had a lot of people really interested in these, so it was very fun to get these taken care of. So I got like 200 of them, like 50 of them are going to go out to people in the zine, and then anybody else will be able to buy them. $7. So if you're wondering about the zine, we do quarterly. Basically, anybody who's at the $10 level or above on Patreon will get it we'll get the zine, a hard copy, and then get all of the goodies, the patches and stickers. Everybody will get access to the zine digitally for free after all those get sent out. When that is depends on when I get stuff back from the printer and when I sit down with a couple of beers and literally just pack all the things. So generally try to get those done as soon as possible. So we'll see. Other than that, some other stuff. Hopefully, I finally ponied up the money for a new gaming laptop. Not top of the line, but top of the line for somebody who plays games from, I think I'm playing BioShock Infinite, which came out in 2014. So I'm certainly up on this, but I have somebody who bought me Squad, basically, and I haven't played it yet. I'm a little intimidated to jump in and start playing Squad because it is all team-based, first-person shooter. But luckily, we got a lot of people in the podcast Discord that are going to hold my hand and help me along with that. So looking forward to doing that. Probably end up streaming again too, because this laptop that I have now does a lot better with streaming, or actually with the gaming. The old computer was really stuttery for some reason. Like anytime I was doing streaming through Twitch, I'm not too sure what exactly was going on with that. But also there's components in that tower that are 10 years old, and when your system has, I remember when I first started playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds on it, and it was really stuttery and jumpy, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was like, literally my computer, which was top of the line when I built it 10 years ago, is no longer top of the line. So upgraded, got a new laptop, future-proofed myself a little bit, but also this is just a great laptop that I can do my production stuff on. Already put all my Photoshop and InDesign and whatnot on it, so really looking forward to doing a lot more stuff. Just having, the last laptop I had was technically not given to me, but assigned to me from the military, and it was a really high processor that was unnecessary, completely unnecessary, but everything else was just not that great, and it was heavy and just a clunker. So it's nice to have. I've got the Dell G5 15-inch. It's nice. It's the perfect size for everything that I want to do. You can sit anywhere. It's not too heavy. It's really nice. And after all of the deals and Veterans Day stuff, I paid like 800 something for it. So really nice, very excited. So please make sure you hit us up on the Patreon because that $800 is still a lot of money. So I need to pay that down off the credit card as soon as possible. But other than that, what else do we have coming up? So I've got a couple of really good interviews that I've already done. One with a gentleman named Jasper Craven. Jasper is a freelance writer, and he had something recently in the Baffler about drugs in the military, and not necessarily fun drugs. It kind of stems back to MK Ultra, which, if you don't know what MK Ultra was basically the Army and the CIA trying to figure out how can we take a soldier and basically fuck their mind completely. And like now we know you just send them to war, and that kind of does it on its own. But back then they tried to do it with LSD because they didn't really have a good hot war to send anybody to fuck anybody's brain up. So Jasper and I talk about that because really the military is used as guinea pigs in a lot of ways. And we talk about Gulf War syndrome was traced back to anthrax vaccinations back then. Hey, guess who got anthrax vaccinations in Afghanistan? This guy. Thankfully, my brain still seems to be mostly intact, other than the damage that I allowed to happen to it because I am on Twitter too much. But other than that, I seem to be okay. It also we also discuss taking mefloquine, which I also took, and also I bring up, which she had never heard about, but there's a drug called Cipro, which my wife had actually found out about. Can make your joints fall apart, and Cipro is what they kind of shove down your throat when you get dysentery. So we talk a lot about how lucky I am currently to not be completely fucked by most of the drugs that I've taken, and hell, maybe I am. I don't know. I seem to be okay though. So who knows? Who knows what surprises we'll all find 40 years down the line. With any luck, we'll all be dead by then. But other than that, Jasper and I talk a lot of the history and just kind of what is coming, later. DARPA is doing a lot of experimentations, and it's not just, robots and stuff. They actually want to make soldiers have night vision, which means injecting our eyeballs with stuff. So I am making my way out the door for the government before they can start, putting, doing some fucking pitch black Vin Diesel bullshit to my eyes to make me see in the dark, and actually it makes me go blind and insane. Not unlike mefloquine, apparently. So Jasper and I had a great conversation. I also had a good conversation with a woman by the name of Andrea Goldstein. She works for the House of Representatives, or she works for Congress. She's a Navy vet, and she and I talk about the Deborah Sanborn Act. I believe Deborah Sanborn Act. Yeah, I believe I'm saying that correctly. And basically, what it is to have better care for women veterans in VA facilities. So she and I discussed the history of those things, how it stemmed from there's no accountability. Women were actually getting sexually assaulted in VA parking lots, and there really wasn't any accountability being done for that. And that now what this this act is going to be taking care of that. So. I am the Jasper interview should be a bonus episode. Andrea's will probably we had a short conversation, only about 20-25 minutes, so I'll probably get rolled into one of the free episodes. And then Brock Wilbur and I will be doing an episode soon about the original BioShock, and because I just finished playing that, so he and I are going to discuss the original BioShock on a Is It Fascist Gaming edition. Hopefully I'm going to be able to, Nate and I are going to be able to do some more stuff soon. He's moving, so he's just been completely all over the place, kind of scatterbrained with a lot of things. So not only does that man have a lot of work to do as a freelancer, but then also he's got a lot of work to do, moving his house, which is apparently very difficult, even though it's you're close by, because he's going through basically what I'm going to be going through, in which his new place isn't that far away, and literally he can walk there. It's about a mile for me, so I can walk there, but I certainly wouldn't want to with a bunch of stuff, and I at least have cars we can drive stuff over, but it's just constant back and forth and dealing with it and everything. Just moving houses, moving sucks. Luckily, we have an extended period of time which we can do it little by little and take things over before we, get the big house back onto the market and get it sold. Let's see. So, last thing, currently reading the book It by Stephen King, because I decided after Chomsky I wanted to, which I didn't really finish. It was very dense and my brain wasn't there for it, so I needed something a little light. And of course, what is lighter than a 1,000-page horror tome? We'll see if I get through it. I remember reading through it. Like, the thing is, I've read this book like within about a decade ago. I read it, and I read all the way through it, so I must have enjoyed it. But I remember very little from it. But as I'm rereading it, I was like, bits of it I'm starting to remember parts of it. But 1,000 pages, you'd think you'd remember a little bit more of it. But then again, I also don't remember a whole lot of The Stand either, and that was also 1,000 pages. So I couldn't tell you. I've read The Stand at least twice. So, but other than that, thank you everybody for jumping on, talking, listening to me ramble for even more time that you do. And even if you're not listening to the podcast, I appreciate you being here. And we will talk to you next week.